She cheated on me with my stepdad, so I exposed them both at her baby shower part 2. The baby shower was at Ava's sister's place. A big backyard, lots of balloons, pink and white everything. People I hadn't seen in years were there. Friends of hers. Her mom. Even my own mother Carla. And James. Of course he came. He walked in like he belonged there. Shook hands. Hugged people. He even patted me on the back and said, "Proud of you, kid." The same hand that shoved me into walls now resting on my shoulder like we were family. I nodded. Smiled. Didn't say a word. Everyone thought we were the happy couple. Ava laughed, held my hand, gave me kisses in front of people like we were something worth showing off. I played along. It wasn't the time. Not yet. The box was in my car. Taped shut. Inside was a single envelope. And inside that envelope was a truth I had paid for. DNA test. Clear. Final. No room for doubt. I waited. Waited through the food, the games, the stories. Then Ava's dad tapped his glass for a toast, but she stopped him. She turned to me, smiling wide. "Daniel has something to say first." "Yes." I did. I stood up. Heart calm. Voice steady. "I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. For celebrating this new chapter with us. It means a lot." I looked at Ava. She looked back with that sparkle in her eyes. She had no idea. "And since it's a celebration," I continued, walking toward the table, "I brought something too." I stepped outside briefly, went to my car, and returned with the box. Small. Neatly wrapped. Simple white ribbon. I handed it to her. She smiled, a little confused. "You didn't have to get me anything." "I know," I said. "Open it." She untied the ribbon. Lifted the lid. Inside, a plain white envelope. She opened it. Slowly. Read the contents. And froze. Silence. Complete silence. I took the envelope gently from her hands and turned to the crowd. "This," I said, holding it up, "is a DNA test. It says I'm not the father of this child." Gasps. Confused murmurs. Heads turning. "But someone in this backyard is." I looked at James. He looked back at me. Pale. Sweating. "This man," I said, pointing, "is not just a guest. He's my stepfather. The man who made my childhood miserable. And now? He's the one who got my girlfriend pregnant." The air cracked. Ava's face collapsed. Her mother screamed. Her father looked like he'd been punched. James tried to speak but choked on his words. "Carla? My mother?" She said nothing. Just stared at the floor. I wasn't done. I walked toward James. "You ruined my childhood. You took everything I had as a kid. And now you've taken the one good thing I built as a man." I turned to my mom. "And you. You let it happen. Back then, and now." No one said a word. I looked at Ava one last time. She couldn't meet my eyes. "I hope you're all happy. You built a family. Just not mine." I placed the envelope on the gift table. Then I walked away. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. This time, the silence wasn't theirs. It was mine. And I owned it. Ava tried to reach me afterward. Texts. Calls. Even a voicemail where she sobbed and said she was sorry, that she didn't know how it happened, that it was a mistake. I didn't answer. Not once. I packed what little I had and left the city. No goodbye. No plan. I drove for hours, until the skyline behind me felt like a bad dream I didn't have to wake up from. I ended up in a small town. Cheap motels. Even cheaper hope. At first, I couldn't find work. I applied everywhere, retail, warehouses, restaurants, but no one called me back. My savings ran dry fast. Within 2 weeks, I was sleeping in my car, parking in quiet corners, washing up in gas station bathrooms. It was the lowest I'd ever been. But rock bottom has a funny way of giving you a choice: stay there, or climb. I finally got a job at a small diner on the edge of town. Dishwasher. $8 an hour. No benefits. But it was something. That's where I met her, Leah. She was a server. Sharp, funny, a little older than me. She saw me struggling one night when I nodded off during a shift. Instead of reporting me, she brought me coffee and slipped a granola bar into my pocket. She didn't ask questions. And I didn't offer answers. I kept my distance. I was still bleeding from what Ava and James did. I didn't trust kindness. Not yet. But Leah, she didn't push. She'd sit with me during breaks, tell me stories about her dog, her garden, her dreams. And somehow, her presence made things feel less heavy. After 6 months, I saved just enough to rent a small room in someone's basement. I started putting money aside. Every dollar I didn't need to eat or survive, I saved. I had an idea. A small business, custom wood furniture. Something I used to love before everything fell apart. 2 years of saving, working, learning, building. I finally launched it. Root and Grain. My own tiny workshop. No employees. Just me and a dream I refused to let die. The first 3 months were brutal. No orders. Barely any interest. I almost gave up. But Leah, she stayed. Encouraged me. Shared my posts online. Even brought coffee and lunch when I pulled all-nighters finishing projects that weren't even paid. She was the first person I told everything to. One night, under the dim light of my workshop, I broke down. Told her about Ava. About James. About the baby shower. All of it. She didn't look at me with pity. Just held my hand. And somehow, the world felt a little less broken. Over time, our bond deepened. Slowly. Naturally. I proposed a year later in that same workshop, with a ring I made myself from the first tree I ever cut for my business. She said yes with tears in her eyes. We got married in the backyard of our new home, a fixer-upper we restored together. Root and Grain started thriving. Word spread. Orders grew. We hired help. Opened a second location. Built something real, something honest. And then, one day, I got a message. Ava. She asked if we could meet. Said she was sorry. That she needed closure. I hesitated. But Leah encouraged me. Maybe it'll help you let go, she said. So I met her. A quiet cafe. Neutral ground. She looked tired. Older. Hollow. Said things hadn't been good since. That James had left. That she lost work. That nothing felt right anymore. I listened. Then I thanked her. Because losing her helped me find myself. We parted with a quiet goodbye. No anger. No apology could fix what was done. But closure, real closure, isn't about fixing the past. It's about freeing the future. I walked out of that cafe with my head high. I went home to Leah. To our business. To our life. To a love that didn't ask me to shrink. And for the first time in forever, I felt whole.